to 30%. Uma, back to you.
All right, Elizabeth, thank you very much for updating us on the situation there.
When Congress gets back in September, I want to move quickly on things that will help the economy create jobs right now. I'll be putting forward, when they come back in September, a very specific plan to boost the economy. I will be laying out a series of steps that Congress can take immediately to put more money in the pockets of working families and middle-class families.
President Obama plans to lay out a jobs plan before a joint session of Congress and a national television audience this Thursday. But is the fight to settle on a date for the speech another indication that agreements between the White House and Congress will continue to create gridlock? Fair and balanced now. Let's ask our panel. Penny Lee is a former senior advisor to Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, and Amos Snead is the former press secretary to House Republican Whip Roy Blunt. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks for having
me. Let's talk for a moment about this controversy over the date. First of all, lots of fireworks erupting over the fact that the president did change the date as requested by the speaker. Does this indicate that we are dealing with a situation where both sides are trying to placate the other and walk into an arena where they know there are going to be more political fireworks?
Well, I think what you saw was unfortunate. I mean, over whether or not a date is, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, but the fact of the matter is the president is going to be going and going to be delivering a speech, and what he needs to do is show leadership and what his vision is going forward to this fall, because we have a very big looming deadline, and that is September 30, and that is whether or not the government has enough funds to continue to go forward. So it is going to be all kind of focused on that September 30 and the priorities over what kind of money we want to spend and where we want to spend it. And that is going to be the big fight over the next 30 days.
Does this date really matter in the long run? Obviously we're talking about jobs and people really want answers now.
I mean, I hope he has a great jobs plan. I mean, we're looking forward to hearing it. Last week it was like it's been built up like the Super Bowl. He's bumping NFL games to tell us his great jobs plan. And I think the American people are ready for some direction and some leadership from it.
Well, some people are suggesting that doing this speech with both houses of Congress there are really there for props, and that this is really a blueprint for the president's campaign speech on the economy or the 2012 race, and are dismissing it as a political speech.
I think every speech right now is being framed, unfortunately, into a political framework, and what we need to do is get out of the political fighting and actually come together. And that's what the president's appeal is going to be, is let us come together, because he doesn't want what happened in the debt ceiling debate, which was this intransient on both parts, but he wants to show that he can build the bridge and get this economy moving forward. So that's going to be the big appeal that you're going to see next week.
If the president asks for some sort of a short-term stimulus plan, do you think there is the political will right now in Congress to give him that?
I don't think so, but what I've seen in Congress, I mean, the House GOP laid out 10 job-killing regulations they want to focus on. And I think the president has an opportunity to step up and be a leader and work with them.
And do you think leadership right now is going to be tested on both sides? The fact that people are really frustrated with Congress. I mean, Congress's approval rating is lower than the president's right now.
Absolutely. And what you're going to see is the least common denominator. I mean, who can actually step up right now and be that true leader, be that adult in the room? And that's what the American people are asking for. And that's what the president is appealing to, especially on those independents that are saying enough of the rhetoric on both sides. I want to see a leader with a clear vision and be able to move it across the goalpost line, together or separately, but have a vision for that leadership.
If the president is setting up the expectations so high for this Thursday night speech, do you think there's a risk of backfiring if he doesn't announce something that's going to be considered earth-shattering?
Absolutely. I mean, this has been built up with the back and forth last week about what day are we giving the speech. I mean, this should be earth-shattering. It's time for him to step up and lead. I think during August we've seen Congress get ready to do that. The House GOP's laid out a timeline and approach to do it. He should work with them.
All right. Thank you to the both of you. We'll be watching and waiting to see what the president has to say come Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Ahead of the 10th anniversary of 9/11, federal authorities are warning terrorists could try to use small planes to launch attacks. We go now to Peter Ducey with more on this story. Peter?
Yeah, Uma, next Sunday is the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, and the FBI is now saying small planes could be involved in some kind of a terror plot by al-Qaeda, who might want to rent private planes and fill them up with explosives. It's scary stuff, and this is part of the FBI's bulletin. Quote, al-Qaeda and its affiliates have maintained an interest in obtaining aviation training, particularly on small aircraft, and in recruiting Western individuals for training in Europe or the United States, although we do not have current credible information or intelligence of an imminent attack being planned. Now, adding to that, Independent Senator Joe Lieberman says some of the stuff we found inside bin Laden's compound gives us reason to want to amp up security